Hello and welcome to Instablog's Global Report, which is with many with fresh updates and more citizen voices from all over the world. Stories for the day are: Afghan leaders strongly condemn the bomb blast near Indian embassy as an act of cowardice. Mexican drug cartel violence now targets drug addicts and rehab workers. A Kerry-Lugar bill creates conflict within Pakistan's leadership and the military. Afghan politicians and dignitaries have condemned the blast near the Indian embassy on Thursday as an act of cowardice, inimical to the Afghan Indian Friendship. Ahmed has more on the Afghan reaction from Kabul.
This is Ahmed from Kabul on Instablogs.com. The site of the blast that shook the Interior Ministry Square near the Indian Embassy in Kabul on Thursday was visited by prominent dignitaries who condemned the act, calling it an act of cowardice and of the enemies of Afghan Indian Friendship. Among the visitors, the Afghan Interior Minister Haneef Atmar avoided a premature judgment, calling it the act of enemies of the people of Afghanistan. Afghan Foreign Minister Rangin Dadfar Spanta, accompanied by the Indian ambassador to Afghanistan, while condemning the act, termed it as an act committed by the enemies of Afghan Indian Friendship. In the meanwhile, a statement released by the presidential palace condemned the act in the strongest possible terms. Kabul police has launched an investigation into the matter. However, they didn't rule out the role of Pakistani intelligence agency ISI in the attack. Previously, Indian embassy was the target of a suicide attack, which was also blamed on the ISI of Pakistan.
As the Mexican federal authorities tighten their anti-narcotics campaign, growing number of drug addicts are being sought after by gangsters as customers who at times also become targets of their violence. A CJ from Mexico gives an update on the growing drug-related violence in the country.
Tangled in the frontline trenches of Mexican President Felipe Calderon's anti-narcotics campaign are the country's growing legions of addicts, who find themselves sought by gangsters as both customers and sometimes targets of their violence. Cheap and plentiful narcotics have flooded the country as producers and traffickers have sought to open new markets for cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and other drugs. The gangland violence, which has killed thousands, also has targeted addicts and rehab workers. At least 43 in the last 13 months have been murdered in attacks on drug rehab centers in Ciudad Juarez. After years of cracking down on gangsters, Calderon has turned at least some attention to prevention and treatment. Using money seized from drug traffickers, his administration in the past year has opened more than 300 new drug rehab centers, some located in small farm towns.
The Kerry-Lugar bill passed by the U.S. Congress, which ties a $1.5 billion annual aid to Pakistan with a tight check on country's military activities, has created conflict within Pakistan's political leadership and the country's military. CJ says that the countrywide opinion of analysts and academia must also be considered and debates be arranged in order to reach a logical conclusion on the bill.
This is CJ on Instablog from Peshawar in Pakistan. The Kerry-Lugar bill, which promises a huge $1.5 billion annual aid to Pakistan, has created a conflict in the country's leadership and the military. The terms of the bill are being regarded as a threat to the nation's sovereignty and political autonomy. The bill stipulates a tight check on Pakistan's military activities and involvement in the country's affairs, as well as the military operations in more of the country's areas, including targeting militant bases in Quetta and in Mauritania near Lahore. While the parliament has started its discussion on the bill, the federal and provincial governments seem to be entirely ignoring the value of public opinion on the issue. Given the national importance of the issue, it is vital to proceed toward any decision on the Kerry-Lugar bill's conditions with the consent of the whole nation. Countrywide poll needs to be conducted and transparency of the polls ensured so as to determine whether or not the people of Pakistan accept the bill as helpful and beneficial to the nation's future. Countrywide opinion of analysts and academics must also be considered and debates be arranged in order to reach a logical conclusion on the bill. This way the nation can also be provided with an opportunity to unite and think as a single entity for the overall well-being of its members.
If you want your voice to be heard by millions, let Instablogs be your choice. You can contact us at cj@instablogs.com. That's all for today's show. We'll be back with fresh updates and more citizen voices. Till then, it's goodbye from the entire team of Global Report.